combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. And we've got another Jimmy Rants all in store for you here today. JimmyRants.com is the website. And what we do is we start off over on Instagram, and we do a couple of live videos, usually a couple of live videos every single day. So go follow me at Livin' Low Carb Man over on Instagram. Then you can watch it for 24 hours on replay there. And then we put it on YouTube for you to enjoy all the past content. So go check it out, Jimmy Rants over on YouTube. And then the all-new Jimmy Rants podcast. Definitely go listen to that. We take the best of the best snippets from these Jimmy Rants, put a little music bed underneath it. It's a whole lot of fun. Go follow it wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever. And again, all of this is housed, you guys, at JimmyRants.com. So today's Jimmy Rants might be a bit of a controversial one, especially from someone who is a leader in the keto world, and it might surprise you with what I'm going to talk about here today. I want to talk about why you should not be keto. Now, let me be clear, very clear up front. I think most people who start on a low-carb, moderate protein, high-fat, ketogenic diet will see benefit. I think the great majority of people who start eating keto, as it's popularly known as in our culture now, I think most people see benefits, whether it's weight loss, which is what a lot of people choose to do, whether it's disease management, so maybe you have epilepsy, maybe you have type 2 or type 1 diabetes, maybe you have some condition that requires you to be keto. Or maybe you're just trying to do it for the cognitive performance benefits of it. I know a lot of people, they go keto because they like the way their brain feels when they go that way. And so I think all of those are really good reasons to go keto. But there are a few situations where I don't think keto necessarily is important to do as a nutritional approach. So let's talk about some of that. If you are a sugar burner as a woman and you happen to get pregnant, I don't think once you're pregnant and you're already a sugar burner, I don't think that's the time to start eating keto. I really don't, because you're at that point where your body is going to need to feed that little munchkin. And even in the after, while you're breastfeeding, once the baby is here, again, if you're a sugar burner and you haven't really made that keto adaptation yet, I don't think it's a good idea to go keto until after the breastfeeding is over and then go keto. So that's one situation that I think you should not be keto, is if you go into a pregnancy, you weren't already ketogenic, because here's the funny little thing about pregnant women, you guys. They very easily get into ketosis, eating a lot of carbs, and they can still get into ketosis. And I think part of it is the partitioning of the nutrients to feed the baby, and part of the byproduct of sending those nutrients to the baby produces ketones. But it's pregnant women, it's very easy to get into ketosis, so I don't think you have to really work that hard at it to purposely try to be in ketosis. So that's one. Another one that I think should not necessarily be keto, although I think it could be a part of the healing process, is people with eating disorders. So anorexia, bulimia, all of these kind of eating disorders, displaced eating, I think you got to deal with the psychological issues first. I think you have to embrace whatever it is that's causing you to have that eating disorder. And as you're in the healing process, then keto can be a part of the healing. But I am afraid if somebody gets into a low-carb, moderate protein, high-fat diet with the mentality of a bulimic, then you're going to have issues. And so deal with some of the head stuff regarding the eating disorder and then start on a ketogenic diet within the context of the healing. It will definitely help in the healing process and maybe calm down some of those urges. I've had plenty of people tell me that have had eating disorders before, and then they go keto, and it helps keep those at bay. So that's a second group. A third group that I don't think needs to be keto at all, again, within the right circumstance, is smaller children. So children under the age of, let's just say 10. Unless there is some kind of obesity already showing up, unless there's type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes, those kids are relatively metabolically healthy. And so they don't really need to eat a ketogenic diet. Now, does that mean they should go to town on candy and chips and Coca-Cola? No. I think those kids could very easily embrace real food, which would include starchy real food. So they could have sweet potato. They could have bananas, that kind of thing, and probably handle those carbohydrates just fine and not have to be in a state of ketosis. I see ketosis as something that once you've damaged your system, it's a must. You got to do it. But if you're a kid under the age of 10, again, unless the damage has already started to manifest itself in the form of obesity and or diabetes, I don't think a kid necessarily needs to be eating a ketogenic diet. It's not to say that if they ate the style of keto and popped into ketosis every now and then, that it would be a harmful thing. Not by any means would it be harmful, but it's not necessary for them. So if you're just joining us on this Jimmy Rants, you know I'm the Keto Guy. I've written several books all about keto, Keto Clarity, the Keto Cure, the Ketogenic Cookbook, and my new one, Real Food Keto. But I'm here to tell you there are reasons why you should not be keto. And I gave the caveat at the beginning, everybody I think could stand to benefit from keto, but there are certain segments that probably would not do or would not need to do keto. And we've talked about them already. Primarily pregnant women who get pregnant within the context of being a sugar burner, not yet fat adapted. Number two, people with eating disorders. And then the last one is children who are under the age of 10 and relatively healthy. I can't imagine, though, beyond those three different segments of people, why anyone else would not be able to do keto. Now, what are we talking about with those three groups? Maybe less than 10% of the population, which means over 90% of you, 9 out of 10 of you watching this right now, you could get some kind of a benefit from keto. Now, you might be like, well, I don't have weight on my body. I don't have weight to lose, so I don't need to go keto. Again, keto is not just a weight loss diet. Keto has so many health benefits beyond weight loss. Weight loss is a benefit. I would not say the primary benefit, but it's a benefit, but it's not the benefit. There's cognitive improvements that come, and again, I would do keto if all I got was the cognitive benefit and the energy that I get from eating a ketogenic approach. If that was the only thing I ever got for the rest of my life, I would do it just for that. And so most people will find that benefit. And I definitely want to see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Hello, everybody. Hello, Brittany. Thanks for being here. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, Dory. Thanks for being here. Lots of my usual suspects. Thank you guys for being here. All right. Hello, Lindy. Hello, Bonnie Lene. Katarina says, once well keto adapted, pregnancy and nursing wasn't a problem in my case twice. Exactly, because you were already keto adapted. And so I think once you're already keto adapted, then you go through the pregnancy and you can keep being that way. I think what's a concern, though, is if a woman gets pregnant and she was not already keto adapted, and then you add the stressor, which it is a stressor when you make any kind of change, but if you make a diet change to keto, it's going to add a stressor to the life, which could threaten the life of the baby. That would be my concern. And then with the breast milk, again, you may run the risk of something happening to the breast milk. So get keto adapted now so that if you do become pregnant, it's not an issue. Tracy does keto. 48 hours ago, I had a few pieces of red and yellow fire roasted tomatoes that were marinated in canola oil, and for many years I could not figure out why my joints hurt. It was the canola. Yeah, and see, now you know that about yourself, so that's great. Hello, Ume. Thanks for being here. Epilepsy in my daughter's case, she's 13. Yes, exactly, Bonnie Lene. That is a great reason why a kid should eat keto. She has epilepsy, and a ketogenic diet is one of the earliest signs. Back in the 1920s, they knew that you could eat a ketogenic diet to help deal with the seizures that you get on epilepsy. Joshua Winslow, my mom, who is 70, lives with us. I really want, really wants to try keto. I'm wanting her to wait until we talk to her doctor on Tuesday. Am I wrong in waiting for her to wait? So Joshua, here's the thing. You wait to talk to the doctor. Don't bring up the K word with the doctor. The doctor, keep in mind, has no education when it comes to nutrition. All that doctor knows about the K word is ketoacidosis. So he hears the word ketosis or keto, and he immediately goes back to his training as a medical doctor, and in their training, they were told about ketoacidosis and how dangerous having ketones is. A lot of doctors don't understand the therapeutic effects of nutritional ketosis. And so I don't know what you're going to hear from your doctor unless it's an educated doctor. And a lot more doctors are surprising us, so don't get me wrong. There will be some doctors that will be pleased with that. But many old school doctors, they will hear ketosis and they'll hear ketoacidosis, and that could be detrimental and discouraging for your mom who wants to go keto. Now, kudos, she's 70 years old. She's just a year older than my mom. And the fact that she wants to try keto, I see no contraindication for her to not go ahead and try a ketogenic approach. And here's the thing too, I think you got to test for ketosis just to make sure that she's getting that benefit of the keto. What's up, Lauren? Thanks for being here. What about a history of eating disorder, anorexia, which has been in remission for many years? So, Sherry, I think if you've had it in your past, unless you're asking for a friend, if it's in the past and it's in the well past and you haven't dealt with those urges in a long time, keto will not force you back into your eating disorder. If anything, it will help continue the healing. What I'm concerned about is somebody that could be in the midst of an eating disorder like anorexia, and it becomes a trigger, keto does. And so anything that would be a change could be a trigger. So that's what I was referring to. No, if you've had this under control for many years, keto is nothing but a positive thing. Nancy Virginia Beach says, my daughter with an eating disorder on keto 3 months, but also under a therapist care. She's doing great. People need extra supervision on keto. Yes, so again, it's a part of the healing process, and you're seeing that with your daughter, but you wouldn't have just put her on keto without that counseling to help her out. The therapist is definitely helping her work through a lot of the head issues. My friend's son, who is 15, has GBS, is overweight. Can he do keto? Is it safe? I don't know enough about Guillain-Barré syndrome. I don't know what that is, so I can't give an educated response. But at the end of the day, if we're talking about real whole foods, I don't see why there's any downside to promoting a diet that's full of real whole foods, which is what keto is. Let me just tell people breast milk on keto is full of fat, like very thick layers, separates on top, but only for those already keto for sure, not the time to experiment. Exactly, exactly. So guys, that's what I wanted to share with you today, that there are people who should not be keto. And I get accused a lot by people online who have this meme that, well, Jimmy Moore just wants everybody to eat ketogenic. And it's not true. I do think the three categories of people that I described for you guys here today in this Jimmy Rants are a perfect example of people that should not do keto. And hear me loud and hear me clear, and please spread the message, because I do think a lot of times this notion of, well, keto is the cure-all for everybody, for everything, it's not. And we did a whole Jimmy Rants just about that the other day. But this one here today, these are the people that probably should be very cautious about going keto until they get the situation under control with the eating disorder, until the kid grows up a little older, and until the mom is no longer pregnant and already done with breastfeeding. Those three situations, all three of them will eventually be able to do keto, but just not now. I would even doubt staying keto for pregnancy if they're brand new to keto. Exactly. If you just started keto maybe like a month ago and you get pregnant, you're not fully keto adapted yet, maybe you just eat, quality sourced foods and that kind of thing, but not quite go into a ketogenic state. If you've been doing this for a year and you're well keto adapted and you got pregnant, guess what? Keto probably helped you get pregnant, by the way. And we can talk about that on another Jimmy Rants. But that one, you could probably stay keto. And I know a lot of people, Katarina is one of them, but several people that I know in my life have had keto babies. And those babies turn out very well. My 11-year-old was getting fatter fast and had carb addiction, so I think keto is helping her. Lilla Grand, yes. If you see obesity starting to happen in your munchkin, then putting them on a ketogenic diet certainly cannot hurt. And again, sticking with real whole foods is not going to harm any kid ever. All right, guys, that's it for this Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. And what we do is we start off on Instagram. So go follow me there at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. And you can watch these live and engage in the content just like all these people did here today. You can watch it on replay there for 24 hours. Then we pop it over to YouTube where we house all the past episodes. And then we also have a Jimmy Rants podcast, which you can find wherever you listen to podcasts. JimmyRants.com is how you access all of this content. And until next time, you guys, we'll see you then.